Miyabi-san, your style of kimono is very unique compared to other kimono brands. It's basically in a league of its own. How did you begin this trend, and how did your brand become what it is today?
日本の成人式に普通に成人式うちレンタル貸し衣装をやっていたんですけれども、ある日男性2人の僕たち全身金と全身銀の金さん銀さんで成人式に行きたいんですっていう新生児が現れまして、既製品ではそういうのはなかったので一から私が作りました。でそうするとすごくそれが大好評で良かったので、その後輩もどんどん次の年から増えていってしまいました。はい。
Thank you. Many modern brands rely on mass production to create their pieces, but your modern pieces, they are all created using traditional techniques with master craftsmen and traditional workshops all over Japan. Why is this so important to you?
お客様一人一人に喜んでもらうことの方が重要で、そうするとどうしてもその少量多品種になってしまう。そのお客様の希望やなんだろう願望を叶えたいっていう気持ちが根底にあるので、それが叶えばいいかなと。なのでちょっと大量生産は少し難しいかなと思ってます。はい。
Thank you.
はい。
Many of your designs are quite unconventional. So how do these traditional craftsmen feel about making these modern designs?
But I love 英語で言っちゃった。でも私は古典的なデザインが大好きです。なのでその古典的なデザインとプラス現代のデザインをミックスしてすごくそのおしゃれなスタイルに作るというのが私のコンセプトであるので、古典的なデザインが大好きです。はい。
Thank you very much.
はい。
How long does it take to create these stunning pieces from start to finish, from idea to garment?
時間が許すなら2年ぐらいかかります。2 years. Yes.
Oh, that's quite a long time. So, one of the most striking features of Miyabi's, of your brand, is that it challenges the gender norms usually associated with Japanese traditional garments in the way the colors and patterns and the way it is worn are employed by your customers. How do you feel about being at the forefront of this movement?
現在の時代においては当然のことだと思います。女性が男性の要素を取り入れて、男性が女性の要素を取り入れてミックスで作るっていうのはすごくより良いものになっていくっていうのがすごく面白いと思います。
You've been working very hard to make this exhibition come true.
Yes.
And what do you feel about being here, holding an exhibition of your pieces here in New York City?
いやーもう嬉しい。もうとにかく大変だったかよくわからないんですけど大変じゃなかったです。もう嬉しくて楽しくて仕方がない感じで、もう本当にもう皆さんありがとう、もう感謝の気持ちでいっぱいです。はい。
いや、ありがとう。Do you have a message for people here in America who may be interested in your brand and in kimono culture in general?
いや本当古い古典的なものもいいと思うんですけど、その現代の着物をどんどんそのクリエイトしていくっていうか、そのバージョンアップしていくっていうか、どんどん いいもの、新しいものを取り入れて着物を楽しんでほしいと思います。
And do you have any final message for your fans all across the world?
いやもう私もこれからもどんどん頑張るし、どんどん新しいものとか、どんどんなんだろう、世界に平和のメッセージとかそういうのを伝えられる人になりたいなと思うので、それを、着物で表現できたら素晴らしいんじゃないかなと思います。はい。
ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございます。
That's difficult. That's actually difficult to keep it down to just one aspect. I think one of the things I really admire about her brand and her image and all these items is that there's quite a lot of money involved in making these garments, and the young people are really engaged in getting them done to and made up for them to wear at their seijin shiki. Often they will be working odd jobs to save the money to be able to pay the rental fee or the making rental fee to be able to wear these garments. And all this money, because all these items are pretty expensive to be made, all this money goes to traditional workshops who have been kind of on the brink of extinction because interest in kimono has waned, and the customers for this kind of very expensive fabrics, the numbers have dwindled. So many shops have been fighting to survive and to keep going, to preserve the knowledge. But all this renewed interest in these fabrics, in these garments, that generates an amount of money that helps these workshops to continue and to keep the knowledge alive and the craftsmanship. And I think this is really, really fantastic to see interest in kimono revived, and thus the possibility for these workshops to continue and carry on, because they have been in existence for hundreds of years and several generations, and it would be a shame for them to absolutely just vanish in the next generation. I really do hope it will help get more young people engaged with kimono, because kimono has this kind of stuffy image, grandmotherly, outdated, stiff, strict rules, and many Japanese people do not feel it represents what they are and who they are and their taste and their style, and so they aren't really interested in wearing kimono. But if they see that kimono can really be a rebellious outfit, it can portray their individual existence and image and gender role, for example, too. That's a very important aspect of identity, I think. And if people, young people especially, see that kimono can do all that and it isn't stuffy and outdated at all, then I think this will help kimono culture to keep evolving and keep changing and staying alive. And that's, I think, a really, really important aspect of these, this brand and these outfits, and especially also of these gender expressions, because the way the gender indicators are mixed in these outfits, that's pretty outstanding to see and read for a Japanese person with a Japanese background who knows about what all these things actually mean. Then you will see that they are not just male or female. They create a very nuanced persona, and they represent the individual wearer in a way that is, well, possible if you use them in a non-traditional way. Usually you would only see one or the other on one wearer, but here they are just, you know, freely mixed, and they create an absolutely individual identity. And that's just fantastic to see that done so brazenly and openly and with so much joy. Well, all these outfits are or have been created for seijin shiki, and seijin shiki usually is a pretty serious business in Japan. You become a full citizen when you turn 20. You gain the right to vote and to marry and to drive a car and all that stuff, drink, you know. And there's a lot of duties involved in being a citizen, obviously, along with the privileges. And there's a ceremony in the town hall where there's a very serious-minded speech given to the young people who turned 20 during the last year, and then afterwards people go out, the young people go out and they have a party, they celebrate becoming an adult. And this is, usually it's a very serious business, so the outfits traditionally worn for this occasion reflect this. They would be, especially for the men, that would be darker colors, blacks and grays, the haori and hakama, hardly any patterns at all, very serious, somber outfits. And the young ladies, they traditionally wear somewhat more colorful furisoda kimono, decorated with traditional patterns, traditional colors. So also they probably, to a young and modern Japanese woman, they would look a bit stuffy and outdated, because the Japanese traditional color choices, they sometimes are a bit strange to a Western taste especially. So these outfits are anything but stuffy, they are anything but serious, they are colorful, they have exploding patterns, and you know, they are new creations, even though for an untrained eye or a Western eye they might look traditional because of the traditional patterns, the traditional colors, but the way they are combined, they are absolutely fascinatingly new and never seen before. And it all started 10 to 15 years ago in Kita, Kyushu, and it has gathered a growing audience of young people who are really invested in wearing these garments for their seijin shiki, to show that they are exuberant, happy, proud of their heritage, but they just, you know, they just don't take it as it is, as it comes, but they make it their own, and they find their own way to express themselves within their cultural context. And I think this is really important about these garments. And if you know this about the usually very serious background of seijin shiki, then you understand how rebellious these garments are for their sheer exuberance, because this is not what you're expected to wear, this is not what you're expected to do, and to go against this expectation, that's an act of sheer rebellion. And this is why we chose this title for the exhibition.
Thank you so much, that was wonderful.
ありがとうございます。
What's special about having a kimono show in New York, it's on tatami. And the tatami and the Japanese nihama adds an element of realism and nostalgic history and absolutely a lot of warmth. So it's absolutely the most ideal place to demonstrate and exhibit kimonos. It's very rare, even in Japan. Sometimes we see kimonos on mannequins in tatami, but it's very rare. So I wanted to recreate the feeling of nostalgia and just how beautiful the kimonos blend into the environment that Japan has so carefully constructed. If I was 20 years old, oh boy, would I have fun. George Bernard Shaw said, youth is wasted on the young. So at this age, I know how much fun I could have had at coming of age. And I think I would wear this beautiful blue garment. It actually is slightly traditional compared to the other Miyabis. It has a turtle pattern, a cactus flower, haikama, jinba ori, samurai style. And I could see myself walking down in Shibuya, kind of doing the fashion parade, and it would be a lot of fun. But yes, I do fantasize about wearing this. Oh yes, and not only would I like to be 20, but I would like to be 6'2". So these are Japanese elevator shoes, and if you look closely at the pattern, it's very cleverly layered and laminated to wear. So I haven't had the nerve to try these on. I'll probably just fall over, but they're just gorgeous constructions. We had 20 kimonos that represent each year of coming of age, which is 20. And sadly, the exhibit, which was a great success in New York, is coming down, and we're folding up the kimonos to go back to Japan. So we have a lot of workers. I cannot fold kimonos, so I'm out of work today. So we look forward to other kimono exhibits in the future. The Globus family has a program called Kimono Visionaries, and we wish to encourage forward thinking in the arts. So the arts are kimono. There's a lot of experimentation, and of course, Japan being traditional, there's a lot of tension between what is new and what's old. But kimono, like any other artwork, has evolved over the last 400 or 500 years. So we see the young generation of designers and also the younger generation that wears the kimonos experimenting with their own vernacular and using Japan's kimono as their walking art gallery. So we know that if a kimono designer gets the endorsement of coming to New York City, they often go back to Japan with a better resume, and it's very exciting for their career. My message for Miyabi is really keep doing what you're doing. Be creative. Don't listen to rules. The endorsement you get is by your tremendous success of sales and rentals to the young generation, who's your audience. And I'm so pleased that it started as a little epicenter in Kyushu, and now is in all over Japan, in Honshu and Chiba and Osaka and even in Ginza. So just keep up your creativity. And also my message to her is thank you so much for keeping the traditional textile artisans in business. Many of them would not be in business except for you, who have created these wonderful textiles. So congratulations. Oh yes, one last thing that you mentioned. Every kimono opening reception, we now bifurcate our reception parties, and we try to have a wafuku opening. So this last Saturday, we had about 50 women and men dressed in only kimono, and it was just a glorious occasion of the celebration of kimono here in New York. I'm not even sure that even gets done in Japan, but everyone came. The problem with kimono here in New York is that, oh, I have a kimono, it's in the closet, I don't know when or where to wear it. It's so confusing, but I want to get an excuse. So yes, we have the reception on Saturday nights because a lot of ladies and men work on Fridays and they don't have the time to get dressed. So Saturday nights we have a wafuku party, and that was great success, great fun. Everyone make sure that they follow the trend here and try them on and get photographed, and please enjoy the party and go back and have the sushi. So.